Welcome to your Body Insight reading for the week of June 20th through the 26th, 2022. Boom! Let's see what cards we have. For self-care, we have the pituitary gland, delegation. For people care or other living beings, we have the sacrum, rebirth. For earth care, we have thyroid gland, transformation. Now, just a note, I've been playing around with different ways of doing these readings, as I do claim to be very new to this. So I hope you enjoy this week's version. Let's start with the pituitary gland, delegation. Now, the pituitary gland is also known as the master gland. This means it is the gland that secretes the chemicals that tell all the other glands what to do and what they should secrete. It's kind of like the boss. This is why we call it the master gland. What it means in relation to your self-care is that it's time for you to ask for help. Time for you to seek help. You need to delegate some of your self-care to people who specialize in fulfilling those needs, such as maybe you need to see a specialist, or maybe you need to seek out the advice of some sort of qualified person in order to take care of your assets or your needs. For our card, in relation to people care, we have the sacrum. And the sacrum is the bone that is at the base of the spine. There's just a little piece of spine after the sacrum, the coccyx, which is your tailbone. But the sacrum is triangular in shape, both when you look at it in a two-dimensional way from front to back, but also when you look at it from its side. Its thickness is also in a triangular kind of shape. It is very much the base of our spinal column. And this card is calling for rebirth. Perhaps there is an aspect of yourself, a childlike aspect of yourself that you can bring towards your relationship with other people. You know, maybe you were more curious at one point, or more lively at some previous time in your life, or maybe you just had a point of view which gave you a lightness or something. What quality like that is your now person not incorporating into your relationship with other people? That's such an interesting question. Here we also have the thyroid gland now for transformation. Transformation is very aptly linked to the image of the butterfly, because the butterfly, as you know, starts as a caterpillar, and it has this amazing transformation And it is also very iconic, the animal we learn about life cycles through as a young child. In relation to the thyroid gland is shaped much like a butterfly and lies upon the trachea, with the wings of the thyroid gland kind of hugging that aspect. And right there, at the level where your larynx is, and that's where your voice is, this is also where your throat chakra lies. Um, I'll get to that in a second. But so transformation in relation to earth care. In which ways are you ready to transform yourself, to take action towards earth care? Well, these are huge questions that I'm going to be asking myself and might benefit you. Hold on a moment, I want to show you something. So this is a page out of the anatomy coloring book, which I have used in many different classes, and also used to use in my yoga teacher training. And so this page is the endocrine system, and I was pointing out how, the crown chakra is related to the pineal gland, which is here, and the third eye chakra is the pituitary, which is located here. The throat chakra is related to the thyroid, which is right here. And then you have these chakras that are related to various endocrine glands going up and down the body. Related to this reading, the pituitary gland has an affinity of working downwards, energy-wise, taking in from the world and bringing that third eye knowledge into your being. Whereas like the crown chakra, its energy is more geared upwards and towards receiving energy from the universe and filtering energy and information from the universe through the body. So back to the third eye, which was in our reading today, the pituitary gland, and how it is supported by the sacrum, which actually rests back here behind the sacral and root chakra areas, and how that whole nervous system kind of props up and is then a support for your voice and your thyroid and your ability to transform. From my studies in traditional Chinese medicine, I know that the sound created when you make the ng sound, as in ing, as in king, as in ring, that ng placement of the tongue at the soft palate of the mouth and the vibration of the voice activates your pituitary gland. It would sound something like this. Ing. And you want to make a high pitched sound to really move the energy waves, the vocal vibrations up to awaken the pituitary. So you would take a breath in, and then on your exhale, ing, sustaining it as long as feels good, and then let the air out. Now, let's make this into a practice which also incorporates our base. If you're seated in a chair, you can sit up on your sit bones. Imagine the sacrum being like a bowl or some sort of um, listening device too. If you've ever um, hit a bowl with a stick, it kind of makes a chime sound, ching. And so that's the basis of your sound there is your sacrum and your pelvis. And let the bones of your pelvis be heavy in your chair. Take a breath in so you feel like you're filling your torso all the way down towards your sacrum. Big breath in. And then on your exhale, make the sound ding, activating your thyroid gland and your pituitary gland all together. This practice you can utilize as a centering practice or just as a reminder of your body insight reading for this week when you try to center yourself and move yourself back to this practice of this week delegating some of your self-care, asking for help, tapping into something that is deep within you to connect with other people and to choose to transform and move towards practices of earth care. What a centering reading this week. I continue to be fascinated with these body cards and how I can relate them to my life. I hope you enjoy them too. Have a wonderful week.